Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. I see you got a fresh bouffant going on right there, making sure he's looking good for the show, man. Hey, man, it's been a hell of a weekend for me, I must say. Just getting back from Jacksonville, Florida. Just want to say had a great time in Jacksonville. Awesome seeing my man Ron Simmons. Big ups to the OG Ron Simmons, who taught me so much about this business, man. I wish I was a storyteller, you know what I mean? Because I got some good stories about Ron, man, that I got vowed to never talk about in public.
Ron Simmons is one of those guys. If he tells me not to say something, I'm not saying anything.
No,
like, that's great up to the great.
I'm keeping my mouth shut, you know what I mean? but definitely big ups, man, to the OG Ron Simmons, man. I sit under that learning tree for many, many years, and the brother just spit knowledge, you know, to me, and just made sure that he put me on the right path. And every time I see him, man, I just got to give him a big hug and say, man, I love you, bro. I love you, because he's definitely was one of the guys that was very, very instrumental in my come up. Let's just say that. So, man, had a great time this weekend. But hey, man, we rolling as well as last week. I want to make sure I let all of the people out there know about the new series, WWE Smack Talk. Your boy got a new show along with Peter Rosenberg and Jackie Redmond. Going to be kicking off July 10th on A&E, guys. You know, just talking about some of the greatest legends and what made those guys so special along the way. So definitely, guys, get ready for it. Get ready for it, because you're not gonna be getting less of Booker T. It's gonna be a whole lot more, baby. Trust me.
So the name of the show again is what for the people?
WWE Smack Talk.
Smack Talk. Okay. Now let me ask you this: with a name like that, I mean, do y'all keep it real about some of these legends? Like, you know, a lot of times, look, we got to big up the legends, but if it's called, you know, Smack Talk, I'm assuming,
yeah,
there's some realness brought to it.
Well, the whole thing is real, because it's talking about, you know, the true art of a lot of these guys and what made them special. Just for instance, you know, Mick Foley. Mick Foley was a guy that gave everything to this business. We talk about kayfabe, how it was back in the day, and, you know, keeping the business, you know, real close, you know, to, you know, trying to make the people really buy in. And you got a guy like Mick Foley, who, you know, pretty much was thrown off of, you know, the sale and then went through the sale. Mick Foley could have died that night.
Mm-hmm.
Mick Foley could have died that night in the middle of the ring. And I tell you, if you ask Mick Foley today if he would do it again, he probably would say, yeah, I'd do it again. And he probably would add bang, bang on top of it, you know? So yeah, man, it's as real as it possibly can be, you know, talking, just say, for instance, of Shawn Michaels. You know, Shawn Michaels was a guy that was very, very, just say, polarizing coming up in his career, because, you know, he was a guy that was willing to go out there and do whatever it took to be the number one guy. And then Shawn Michaels was a guy that got into a lot of trouble. Yeah, had a lot of downfalls. But one thing that trumped everything that I always felt was talent. You know, this guy was one of the most talented performers that I've ever seen go out and do it in the middle of that square circle. And that right there, like I said, when you're putting butts in seats, man, I asked, you know, Shawn Michaels, did you know you was that good? And the answer I got is what I think people are going to be interested in more so than the question, you know, because when you're in the zone, man, when you're in the middle of it, it's a storm. It's like a tornado. You got that vortex going, and you can't get out until it stops. And that's what Shawn Michaels was all about.
So are these legends, they're on the show with you?
Some of the legends are on the
Some
show
are.
via Zoom, and some in studio as well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you know what? You mentioned that about Mick Foley, and I just found out he has a podcast out called Foley is Pod, which
Yeah,
it's a great
yeah.
name. And I listened to the first episode a few days ago, and phenomenal show. I actually really recommend it. But here's what I gained. I already had a lot of respect for Mick Foley and just what he was able to do and what he was able to give to the industry and to the fans, more importantly. But the insight this guy has of he didn't do anything without thinking it through. You know, you would think after seeing him on TV, he was just reckless abandon, right? But he even talked about how he wanted to do an elbow drop on The Undertaker off a TV truck. And when they asked him why off the TV truck, he said, I was thinking about all the great camera angles they could get with that shot. One from down below, a crane shot over here, the floor cam this way, the hard cam that way. And just the thought, you know, you would think, oh, I just want to get a big pop. But he was thinking about television and movies. It's something that I hear you talk a lot about to the students at Reality of Wrestling, right? It's just Shakespeare. This is movies. And so he really great insight on that stuff. Really.
Well, just think about it. Mick Foley, he's not your prototypical superstar that's going to be the world champion. You look at him and you go, that's not the guy. But Mick Foley, you know, kind of like one of my students back in the day, Gustavo Mendoza. You know, he wasn't the most talented, you know, guy from a physical perspective or anything like that. But his mind, man, was sharp, and I think that's what Mick Foley had more so than any of us, man. He was so smart to the game and knowing what it really, really took to make the fans move, feel. And the thing is, Mick Foley put his own body on the line to make all that happen. You know, so that's, I mean, he was, like I say, Mick Foley is like Evel Knievel. Okay, he's the professional wrestling Evel Knievel because he did all of his own stunts, man, and every one of them was man so close to reality.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just so, and the thing is this too, to have this established career, and I almost kind of want to pose this to you, to have an established career as Cactus Jack for so long, king of the death match, there in WCW, had a long run with WCW, went over to ECW, just kind of this aura, this legend in his own right. And Vince McMahon brings him into WWF, and what does he say? I want to change his name and cover his face, right? And so Mick Foley or Cactus Jack comes in, has to wear a mask and go by Mankind, right? And to me, to still say, you know what, I'm taking what they're giving me, and I'm gonna make it work, because that gimmick shouldn't have ran as long as it did. But he found out how to evolve it, how to connect with the audience, and like you said, somebody who wasn't a prototypical top guy became the world champion.
Well, Mankind, you know, just think about this for a second. I know we got to take a break here in a minute. Think about this for a second. Mankind was literally neck and neck. I would think with the Undertaker at that time, you know, and he was not as big as the Undertaker, but you believed everything that character brought, even to the point to where Mankind, when they made the mask, they made sure they left the part out where the ear was torn off from the match he had with Vader in WCW, just so the people can actually see the gore. This man has been maimed, just so you can have a real feel and come inside of what I tell you, man. The dude, no pun intended with the dude love deal, but he is a genius as far as this wrestling game goes. That's how much respect I got for Mick Foley to call him a genius as far as this wrestling game goes. We got to take a break, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. You're worth it.
13 years, the King of Solar Screens has been an industry leader, and we proudly use 100% American-made products. Home of the $55 any size, any color solar screen.
Well, what about arches?
$55.
What about circles?
$55.
What about rectangles?
$55.
Any size, any color, installed free. The King of Solar Screens, on time, every time.
Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just sitting here kicking it. ESPN 97.5, 925, talking about this new series that's going to be coming out on A&E July 10th. WWE Smack Talk with your boy Booker T, as well as my man Peter Rosenberg and Jackie Redmond, talking about some of the greatest rivals in WWE history, as well as some of the greatest superstars that ever stepped inside the square circle. So I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's going to be awesome.
Shout out to Peter Rosenberg and Jackie. Looking forward to the show, July 10th again. So don't miss it, guys. Set the DVR and let's watch it together as a family. We also talk about Mick Foley. One thing I wanted to throw in that I remembered in the break from hearing in his show, talk about him being a genius, right? And the amount of thought he put into his character. Mankind, the character he envisioned, well, actually first, Vince wanted to call it Mason the Mutilator. So whoever came up with Mankind, much better name. Better name.
Yeah.
But he had this idea, because you remember when he first came in, he covered these two fingers with tape.
Yeah, I remember that.
That black tape, and then he put the claw in there. So his idea of Mankind was he was a pianist who lost his two fingers, and that drove him crazy. And that's why he became this deranged, mutilated individual. And the first Mankind music before the car crash and the kind of the upbeat guitar theme, there was a piano theme, and he had a different entrance music and he had a different exit music after he won the match. And Vince asked him, so why do you have this different exit music? And he goes, because that's what's going to help the character calm down after he's just been violent in the ring. And I was like, God, man, just the thought that went into it.
It's pretty good.
It's great. I don't know why has no one done the exit music since then.
I never really thought about that right there. That's pretty good.
So good.
Pretty good. Yeah, yeah.
So good. So shout out to Mick Foley. Thank you. But we are getting some traction in the chat here in the super chats. They're coming in. Should we take them now or something else you want to cover first?
I mean, I think we got to cover the Jeff Hardy incident.
Well, and that's our first super chat is Callie Toenail says, is Jeff purposely trying to do a Sonny Watts with celebs that can't do the job, sit down and go over drinking and overdosing and suicide? No, I hope that's not the case. People who would love to wrestle, etc., not squander it. So what Callie Toenail is referring to there is we found out today that Jeff Hardy was arrested for driving under the influence.
Third time in 10 years.
Third time in 10 years. I believe it's the second time within 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. And
I think he had a suspended license or provisions, driving with a break. He broke like provisions that were placed on his license or something like that. And now he's, I think currently, at least as of the last article I read, was still in holding in Florida for doing this. Of course, Jeff, about 6 months ago or so, had the incident at the house show with WWE where he kind of left through the crowd, and many thought and speculated, including myself and others, that maybe there was some sort of inebriation or influence that led him to that decision. He said, no, I did my part of the match. I was ready to get out of there. So I left through the crowd. It just seems odd, but Jeff's kind of an odd guy. But this is kind of sad to read, Book, to be honest with you, because I'm such a Jeff Hardy fan. He's one of the great tag team wrestlers of all time, one of the most charismatic individuals. Fans can't get enough of this guy, right, since he made his debut. And it seems like he's continued to have these problems over and over again.
That is. We were just talking about Sonny, and how serious, alcohol is, and how serious addiction, really is. And of course, man, Jeff Hardy has been one of those guys who have been going through it for quite some time. It's public. As far as Jeff Hardy's struggles, with addiction. I must say, man, when I heard about it, I was like, wow, man, it's sad because this is serious. This is serious. It's a class 3 felony. He could face up to 5 years in prison.
Oh man.
And that right there is that right there just makes it a little bit different. Before that, you know what I mean? Before something like that could happen, when you could actually end up in prison, just from driving drunk, let alone, the Sonny situation where somebody could die, you know, it could get really, really serious. But just from an alcohol perspective, he's facing 5 years in prison for this right here. And I don't wish there again. I don't wish that on anybody. And people are going to say, man, he deserved it. I've seen comments already saying, AEW didn't put the drink in his hand and didn't put the keys in his hand and make him drive. Yeah, they didn't. But I think AEW has some responsibility to bear, because you go back and look at the compilation of death-defying dives Jeff Hardy has pulled off since arriving in AEW. And I'm going to tell you right there, pain comes along with that, okay? Pain comes along with that. And when you got pain, a lot of times you will go and drink, take drugs to numb the pain. And therefore, damn it, I just relapsed. Did he try to do it? Probably not. But that's what people with addiction do. So they do have some responsibility to bear here.
Yeah, I mean, and again, if WWE was making him do it, or any company for that matter, of course they would have some semblance of responsibility. I totally get what you're saying from there. But my question less about what happened and why it happened, but what happens next. Do you think that Jeff? Do you okay? Because right now he's scheduled to be on Dynamite on Wednesday in a big triangle ladder match with his brother, the Young Bucks, and Jurassic Express. I have my doubts that we see him there. I think it would be a bad idea, just from really a PR standpoint, if nothing more, right? But I also think he needs to focus on himself and everything. Do we see Jeff Hardy again soon? Is my question inside of a wrestling ring.
I hope not. And I did, didn't I say this when Jeff Hardy left WWE? I said, man, the last place I want to see right now is Jeff Hardy is inside the wrestling ring. You remember me saying this?
Yeah, I remember.
And because I say it's not about, him, his wrestling. That's something that's going to be there for him. I mean, the fans love Jeff Hardy. He's going to be able to go out and play his guitar, and the fans are going to support him. So I just thought that's the last place Jeff needed to be. I didn't know, the full ramifications of what actually happened, with WWE. I just know all of a sudden he was there. What happened. Boom, he was gone. End up in AEW all of a sudden. One thing about addiction, you got to admit you got a problem. Okay. And right now, if anybody that's looking at this situation, anyone, okay, and not Jeff Hardy's a friend of mine. If anybody's looking at this situation and think that it's not a problem, okay, we move on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have to admit, and I think that, look, everybody has their struggles. Jeff Hardy just happens to be a public figure, so we know about him, right? Yeah. And Jeff's been honest about him in the past. And I remember back in the day, Eddie Guerrero's had a documentary. I don't remember the name. I think it was like cheating death, stealing life,
okay,
something like that. And he talked about being an alcoholic. And he said the way that he started to get over it was, he said, I didn't tell myself I would never drink again. I told myself every morning, I'm not going to drink today. Right. But he was able to admit, and I say that to illustrate the fact of it is a daily battle always.
Yeah.
It's always a daily battle. And I think once you feel as though you've maybe conquered it, that's when you're most susceptible. And I hope Jeff's okay. I'm glad that nobody got hurt first and foremost. But you have to take a long look at the man in the mirror and figure out what you can do.
Well, I can tell you this: wrestling and addiction don't go together. Okay. Because I mean, they just don't. Everybody that I've known in this business that had that addictive personality, they're going through struggle right now. They really are. They're not here. One of the two. I'm serious. You know what I mean? So it's real, and hopefully intervention can happen, and we can get Jeff Hardy back on track because there again, I wish no man to be behind that prison wall because it's not a fun place to be. Jeff Hardy is definitely someone that who's gone through a whole lot, and I think people that really say they're his friends, they need to be stepping in right now and thinking about Jeff Hardy. Damn the wrestling, okay, for a minute. Okay, seriously. They need to be thinking about Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy is on a path. From what I was reading, he was stopped at 12:30.
12:30. Yeah, in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning. Just hanging out and drinking at 12:30 in the morning and then get pulled over, and your alcohol content is like way above the limit. It's a problem here.
Yeah,
we need to intervene, and we need to fix it. Bottom line, that's just my opinion. We got to take a break, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unless I'm mistaken, that right there is the music of Gaspar Hernandez being joined by the boss, Booker T himself. Unless my notes are incorrect, the next scheduled match was Austin Jackson's opportunity to try and get a number one contendership for the Reality Wrestling Championship, but this was going to be the golden ticket. This was going to be the golden opportunity for Austin Jackson. And now it's starting to look like it's going to be quite the rocky uphill battle, if you will, facing the undefeated Gaspar Hernandez. And I mean, you got to think this is just unfair for Austin Jackson. You can see the boss right there telling him, break him in half. And that look in Gaspar Hernandez's face says it all. Over the last few weeks, we've seen Austin Jackson screw over Ryan Davidson with the promise that he would be given a huge opportunity. But, I mean, when he was talking about huge opportunity, when the boss Booker T was talking about huge opportunity, I don't think anybody thought that it would be a match against Gaspar Hernandez. As if Austin Jackson could pull off the impossible, then he absolutely deserves that championship opportunity against Mysterious Q. But I don't like the looks of this at all. Right into the, right there. Gaspar Hernandez showing the power. I was going to say into a lockup here, but it's almost academic what Gaspar Hernandez does to all of his opponents here inside that ring. Manages to go underneath here into the headlock. Austin Jackson trying to fight back, but immediately gets fired into the middle of the ring. And the boss says that it's time. It's over. And just like before, it's almost academic at this point. What goes up must come down into the choke slam. And that's going to be it for Austin Jackson. What was supposed to be a dream just turned into a nightmare. And this just feels wrong. What seems to be another victory for Gaspar Hernandez, just another day in the office here. As Gaspar is now going to possibly just throw out here Austin Jackson like yesterday's trash. Well, ladies and gentlemen, still to come in our main event, Gino Medina versus Brian Keith right here in this very World Gym Arena.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Yeah, baby. It's all about putting in the work, man. It's all about putting in the work, man. That leather jacket, that leather pants outfit, that sweet. I'm about to bring it back out of the closet a couple of times, but it's a little too hot right now. But
Oh man, is it ever?
wait till it get a little cooler. Right now, triple digits, man. I haven't even been able to play any golf or anything because right now, man, it's hot. It's hot in Houston, man. Me and my brother, we could have been called the Houston Heat.
Look, I walk. So I live in a neighborhood where like the mailbox is kind of like down the road. It's like a community mailbox, right? So I had to walk about a block and a half right before the show to go check the mail. And you made mention of how the bouffant was fresh. That's because I sweated out completely walking to the mailbox, and I had to go towel off and get ready all over again. These triple digits are no joke, man. They're no joke. They're and you know I know we have more to talk about. We have more super chats too, but they're no joke. They're no joke like that man, Steph Curry. I just got to give this man a little love because he's been playing out of his mind. And I will say that I was wrong. I thought after the stuff with his wife came out, he wasn't going to be the same player. He is balling out of control and giving it to Boston almost single-handedly. Almost single-handedly.
I don't even know why you could think something like that, though, bro. Like that, like his game was just going to go away from him because of a scandal. Come on, man. Come on. This dude has been that's ingrained. That's like in his blood, like in his DNA. That jump shot, because it's different than anything that I've ever seen. It just leaves his hand. It's like got a string on it. I'm like, it's going in. Sometimes he's shooting, just take off the other way.
I know, like he already knows.
Yeah, it don't even look at the shot go in. Yeah. That is special. Yeah, but let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling. Let's get to our next super chat. Of course, if you have anything that you want to ask Booker T or myself on this show, make sure you send it in to us right now. Our next super chat comes from, I believe it was Jason Marone, if I can pull it up here. Yes, it's Alex Cosentino, who says, why did you switch from wearing gloves to taping your hands and wrists instead? Also, are you a car guy? I could see you cruising an 87 Buick GNX.
I am a car guy, man. I got a 89 vintage Speedster Porsche in the garage. I got a Corvette out there as well. Yeah, man, the gloves was something I always wanted to be different. You know, in the beginning of my career, wearing the gloves was really, really cool. And it worked. It worked for a long time. But what I thought was cooler was the way boxers would wrap their hands, and they would always put the lace in between the fingers, and then they would wrap their hands, and it just looked so cool. And I would take it up almost to close to my elbow, and it just felt like, you know, when I'm doing my work, it just felt like when I whack somebody, you could just feel it. You knew it was some compression there when you saw the gloves and the hands taped like that. And nobody else ever wrapped their hands like that in wrestling. I think I might be the first to actually have that boxing look. And I just thought it was cool, especially when I became king. That's when it really played to its, you know, true effect. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm awesome. That's pretty good. I remember, I mean, the gloves was a cool look too, but like the gloves and the it's not called a breathe right strip, but the nose thing.
Yeah. That's what it's called.
Breathe right strip. Okay. I mean, that looked like you were a wide receiver, right? It had like a real cool football, and that's when because when you got to WWE, you bulked up a little bit, right? You got a little bit bigger. In WCW, especially in the Harlem Heat years with the fade and the mustache, you were a little bit more slender, and it was cool. You went from like a wide receiver to a boxer. You're right. Like it was a cool. It just from this being off and changing the gloves.
Yeah. No, it felt really, man. I swear, man. That's what I think. I spent so much money on tape. I swear. Oh, we'll go to the trainer and steal, you know, a few rolls from him every week, man. But that was like, I don't know. When I did that, it really made me feel a certain way when I walked out the curtain. Like I was really getting ready to get into a fight. You know, if you ask Paul London, it was it really was a fight sometimes.
If you ask him or Renee, right?
Yeah, broke both of their noses. Yeah.
Here's the thing: I still haven't seen any footage from Renee's broken nose. Have you found it?
No, I didn't go and look for it, man. I think he was just trying to, jump on the bandwagon and be one of the guys that, like I say, Timmy White, man, Tim White, the referee, I broke his nose one night, and blood went flying everywhere, man. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry.
Tim White and you get along real well, right?
Oh man, Tim White say, man, when I broke his nose, before that, he used to have really, really bad snoring problems. He couldn't, his wife wanted to kick him out of the bedroom, and ever since that, his nose has been perfect.
That's so incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. He thank me every time I see him, man.
Breaking his nose actually helped him in the long run.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's incredible. I never broke my nose. I'm really excited. The Rocky. Here's another one. Brooklyn Bryan says, what happened between Jericho and MVP? Is that a real beef? Of course, Chris Jericho, MVP. Jericho's with AEW, MVP's with the WWE. Both great dudes. Have a lot of respect for both of those guys. But apparently there was some altercation at a hotel here in Houston. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, or how true it is, but what do you know about it, Book?
Well, I'm still trying to find out more about it, but I do know that Chris Jericho had put out a tweet, and MVP responded to the tweet. I think the tweet had something to do with, politics, and politics is a heated conversation. Let's just say the heated conversation these days, and both of these guys are my friend, but both of these guys have very, very opinionated perspectives on stuff like that. And I could see it becoming heated a little bit. But as far as the situation goes, I really can't speak as far as what I've been reading, as far as them meeting each other in a hotel and argument ensued and whatnot. I can't, I don't have any firsthand knowledge on that or anything like that. But if any two guys could get heated and, perhaps get into it, it would be Chris Jericho and MVP. Because no, I'm serious. I'm saying this because both of these guys, bona fide men, and they can handle themselves. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, and to me, even if they did have a run in, I think that look, they both have respect for each other. I've heard them both talk about one another, on podcasts and interviews glowingly, and so it'd be water under the bridge. But you know what? When I was young, Book, and if this did start from politics, that's why my grandmother always told me politics and religions for inside the house only, right?
You know what? I believe in that too, man. I really do. I believe in that too. I really do. Because anything you say is going to be the wrong thing to certain people.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to give a shout out. I was telling you about this earlier to his name was Scott. I ran into him after the reality wrestling show. Big fan of the Hall of Fame. And he said about this show also, he said, it's nice to hear a show with two guys who are doing, or who are in the media and just want to have fun. And we don't worry about anything when we listen to the show, So I big shout out to Scott. We don't have an agenda on the Hall of Fame, Book. This is
really. Oh, really? We don't.
We don't have an agenda. That's what Scott said.
According to, a lot of people, I hate AEW. I hate everybody in AEW. That's going to get picked up.
I'm putting it out on YouTube after this. I hate AEW.
No, I'm serious. That's according to people on the internet. It's like, man, come on, man, get over that, man.
Look, let's put a bullet in it right now. I'm gonna ask you straight up, Booker T, do you hate AEW, All Elite Wrestling?
In a word, no, I do not. Hate AEW because, like I say, man, AQA. Okay, she's in AEW. She's one of my pupils that started with me from her infancy stages. You know what I mean? And now she's got a job, over there. So
Athena,
a lot of my guys getting tryouts, stuff like that. So I look here, man. I'm just gonna be real about everything I talk about. And sometimes I see things in AEW that I may comment about, but there again, if you notice, I never get off into the booking. You know what I mean? I never book the show. I never talk about what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing or anything like that. but if I see something that I think from a constructive perspective, that I could say it without offending anybody, I'm gonna say it. You know what I mean? Because that's not the business that I'm in. Is just trying to get clickbait by offending people and saying things about people. Because I'm from the school where where they say somebody's mama. That's gonna get a reaction. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
no. So like Ryback. People like that just looking for a reaction. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna just say something just to get a reaction, man. It's gonna be real talk every time, and we appreciate you guys for listening to us just for that purpose alone. We got to take a quick break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
My name is Dan Miller, and I'm trained to be a professional wrestler here at Reality of Wrestling. Professional wrestling has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. Growing up, I would have the toys, I would have matches with stuffed animals, I had a little paper championship. I always had that voice in the back of my head saying, can you do this? Can you really be a pro wrestler? And one day that voice got so loud, I just had to know. So I did my research, and I found that Reality of Wrestling is the best training ground in the whole country. You could sit down and turn on the TV every night of the week to watch pro wrestling, and you'll see someone who got their start in this ring. Reality of Wrestling teaches you everything you need to know about the business, from putting together the ring to putting together a TV show. This is a place where you can come and work on your fundamentals, work on your body, work on your interview skills. This is a one-stop shop for everything pro wrestling. If you have that voice in the back of your head, now is the time to find out if you have what it takes here at Reality of Wrestling.
Can you dig it, sucker? Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Just talking a little bit of what's going on in the news out there in sports and entertainment today. But where should we move, man? I know we probably got a few more super chats.
We do. Callie Toenail says, thank you, Booker T, for representing African Americans in a positive light. You're always suited and booted, looking and talking good with your queen. You guys are the Obamas of wrestling. # no scandals.
Hey, man, that right there is true. No scandals, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate them. I always try to represent, especially when I'm out in public, just because you're always under the microscope. You really are. And the thing is, you never know who's watching. And one thing that you got to look at life, if you look at it like everything is a test, everything is a test. You might figure this thing out, and that's one thing that I've always tried to do, especially in the wrestling business. I've always looked at everything as a test. I talk to my students about that on a regular basis, and only thing it does is just keep you on your toes. It make you think, just like, say, for instance, you get put in a situation, and opposed to just doing what's told, you think about it first. And you figure out, okay, how can I do this? And then, not just how can I do it, but how can I get the most out of this? You know what I mean? So life is tricky. So I appreciate that. I always represent.
Shout out Callie Toenail, always one of the great ones. Brooklyn Bryan is here with another super chat. Says, thoughts on the historic Queen of the Mountain match at Slammiversary this Sunday. I want Tasha Steelz to win. Mia Yim might win, though she's pushed. Impact actually celebrating their 20-year anniversary, and they're going to do it at Slammiversary. The King of the Mountain match has always been their trademark. Now they're doing the Queen of the Mountain. Were you ever in a King of the Mountain match?
No, I was never. I wasn't that long. I wasn't that long enough.
I have no idea the rules of the King of the Mountain match.
Well, I think that's a Jeff Jarrett creation, right?
It is.
Yeah, that's Memphis. That's some Memphis stuff.
That's some Tennessee
You
logic
gotta
right
be
there.
Tennessee to understand anything.
Hey, I got me an idea. What if we had a match where it's a ladder match in reverse? Because that's what it is, right? Don't you have to like hang the belt?
Yeah, I guess I don't know what the object of the king.
There's like a penalty chamber. I'm not trying to make fun of it, but it never made sense to me.
The king of the mountain. Like I said, that's the Jeff Jarrett creation, man. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but I am pleased. The women are getting their props, and
Yeah,
actually going to have the queen of the mountain, and they get a chance to go out there and shine, be spotlighted more so than anything. I'm all down with the women wrestlers today because it seems like I've been producing, nothing but women wrestlers this weekend.
You have.
I don't want any more guys to come to my school. I think I'm gonna start running an all-girl school.
There you go.
And try to really just take over the whole world as far as producing the best. I don't know what it is. Females, just in life, just from a maturity standpoint, I always seem to pick up a little bit faster than the boys. Am I correct here or not?
Well, yeah, women mature faster than men in general, and yeah, it does seem like they progress quicker. I mean, you look at Hyun, you look at Rachel Rose, you look at Promise Braxton, you look at Danny B, you look at of course, Roxy and AQA and Kylie Ray at one point tearing everything up. Athena, Kiera Hogan came through reality wrestling for a long run there. We just had so many great ones come through.
Yeah.
I know I'm forgetting some. That's how many there's been.
Yeah, seriously. I know you missed somebody.
Hey, by the way, according to the chat, you were in a King of the Mountain match.
I was.
That's what the chat says. I'm going to verify this.
You know what? It can be true. I don't look. I don't remember much of TNA. Okay, I don't remember, and not because it was a cloudy situation or anything, but I just didn't have any memorable moments other than Black Snow. Black Snow was a moment that it rings, a feeling that when you just say the name, you go, man, that was cool. You know what I mean? I remember, the creation of the main event Mafia and what it was intended to be. I remember, having stupid fun promos with Kurt Angle, and the main event Mafia. That was like some of my most fun. I remember having the accent, I remember that, what I mean? But as far as a lot of matches, I remember there was stuff with Rude, you know what I mean? The stuff with AJ, the stuff with Samoa Joe. But outside of that, I don't remember much about TNA, but it was a good time, like I said, going to Disney Studios every, few weeks, you know what I mean? And having fun and going out. It was cool, but I don't remember a whole lot about it.
Thankfully, due to the internet, we can confirm Booker T was in a King of the Mountain match. And at one point, you were locked in the penalty chamber and looked like you had a hell of a run there. In this,
it was like I didn't want to get out of that chair.
You look comfy. Look at you. You can barely get out. The wounds of battle. Look at that. There you go.
Oh my God, man. See what I'm saying?
Oh, Big Nash. Big Nash is down.
And look at him, he gets past the Warrior Team with the belt.
See what I'm saying? That's why I don't remember.
Laying out bodies all over the building here. Who can stop him?
Thought it is safe. If he climbing the ladder, that ain't about to happen.
Well, you've hit everybody in sight with the belt. Yeah. So it is. It's like a ladder match in reverse. You win by climbing the ladder and then putting the belt on the hook.
It's stupid is what it is, man.
Booker T climb the ladder, hang the belt, and become TNA World Heavyweight Champion for the first time.
Oh my God, man. See what I'm saying, man? That's what wrestling is, though. Wrestling, you could just go out. That goes back to what the kid told me in fantasy camp that couldn't do 100 push-ups. You can just do anything. It doesn't have to make sense. That's why I don't remember that.
You know what? You probably don't remember that for great reasons. I'll be honest with you. All love to Impact Wrestling and their signature event. And I'm sure, you know what? I'm sure the women out there on Sunday are going to have probably the most memorable one. The most memorable King of the Mountain.
That was their Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah, well.
what to say all that you gotta be in for a second.
I think somebody in the chat can correct me. I think you had to get pinned, and if you got pinned, you went to the penalty box. Is that right? I think that's what happened. And so you must have gotten pinned, and you were in the penalty box.
But you're still in the game.
You're still in the game, but you're in a penalty box.
Okay.
For X amount of time.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hey man, look here. You got to come up with something. You got,
if you can't explain the rules in a tweet, there's probably something wrong.
You got 52 weeks of shows. You got to come up with something. So I get it. Hey, bro, let's King of the Mountain. Great. Sound like a great idea. You know what I mean? So in wrestling, that's the way some ideas come to fruition. Okay, seriously.
It's a good. And here's the thing. I think everybody who's been part of a wrestling, booking committee, for lack of a better term, you always want to come up with some great concept, right? Oh man, this match is going to be different than anything else because nobody's done it before. And you quickly realize there's a reason why a cage match has been around for as long as it has, because it always works, and you don't have to do too much else. You don't have to come up with all these other ideas because they've been around forever, and you don't have to reinvent them because they've always worked. You know what I mean?
Bro, I worked in the era of Vince Russo, okay?
Woo.
What was the match I had to have when the stuff was on a pole?
Or like the San Francisco 49ers match or something?
Yeah, it was just stupid. Briefcase. It was just some of the ideas that Vince Russo came up with out of his head. I mean, some of them was just, what are we doing here? But that's what wrestling is, and that's the part, I appreciate, because wrestling is to be embellished. It's to be able to make people laugh. It's to make people feel a certain way, be pissed off at, the guy that, that they hate the most, the guy that they want to cheer for. That's what wrestling is. I get it. You know what I mean? So yeah. When coming up with stories like this, you try to figure out what's going to stick, because just think about this many years later, we're talking about the Hell in a Cell. But the Hell in a Cell, we're still talking about it because of, the guys that went out in that cell and created magic, like the Mick Foleys, the Undertakers, the Triple H's of the world. Mm-hmm. Those guys went out and, blood, sweat, and tears to make those, pay-per-views and those names come alive. It's kind of hard to make the King of the Mountain come alive.
Or like, what was a really bad one in WWE? Do you remember the Punjabi prison matches?
Exactly. Those matches as well. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, what can we do in here? You know what I mean? This is designed for what? It's like a movie. If it's got a good enough title, you'll go check it out. Right?
Yeah.
Seriously. And I think, the look of the Punjabi prison, you go, oh, well, what is this? So yeah, but then you got to go out there and deliver. Hey, but we got to take a break. We got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
On the indies for a couple of years, and for me, I could not take that experience back for anything. I mean, learning how to wrestle in front of 6 people and trying to draw emotion out of people who maybe just by happenstance came across the show, but to work with conditions where the ropes some are too tight, some are too loose, some of the rings had big dips in it, trying not to trip over the canvas, and just having that experience of working in all these different, every ring was different at every indie show that I did, and so to know that I have to put on a good show regardless of the circumstances, even if the ring doesn't show up and I have to wrestle on a gymnasium floor, hoping for the best, it really helped shape my ability to be able to think on the fly and made me who I am today.
What's up, this Booker T, 2-time Hall of Famer. I know you're checking out The Shine, checking out The Gloss. I want to thank you guys for checking out Row on YouTube. Hey, don't forget to click and subscribe to check out all the latest content right here each and every week. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. We're just talking everything sports and entertainment. Just got a little breaking news, guys. A little breaking news. That ladder match, AEW Dynamite, going down Wednesday night with the Hardys, is no longer advertised. They have pulled it. Okay, so Jeff Hardy situation seemed like it's affecting the show just a little bit. We're gonna have to pull that match down. But hey, man, we said we perhaps need to take a step back, just take a step forward as far as the Jeff Hardy situation goes. Hopefully, they'll work that thing out here sooner than later. On another note, man, something I wanted to talk about. Something I really want to talk about. Something that I ran across that interests me, and I was like, man, I really got to talk to Brad about this and get his thoughts, as well as, you guys in the comment. Please let me know what you guys think about this. Alberto Del Rio, El Patron is, I guess, what I would call it, lobbying for a Hall of Fame induction. Let's talk about the career of Alberto Del Rio. This is a guy, man, who I really think took the wrestling world by storm when he first came into WWE. I was like, wow, man. I mean, just his look, his presence. When you saw Alberto Del Rio walk in the room, you go, who's that dude right there? I know that's what a lot of the ladies were saying. I'm serious. I mean, dude was handsome. You know what I mean? I got to give him the props. And then, he was a big guy too. He wasn't like a small guy. And then he could perform at a very, very high level to the point to where, he became, WWE champ, world champ twice, both times. So 4-time world champ. I think he was Intercontinental, United States champion a couple of times.
So.
Yeah. He's Royal Rumble winner. I think that was the biggest Royal Rumble of all times when he won it.
It was 40 men, yeah.
Yeah, and what do you think about that? What do you think about Alberto Del Rio and his career, first of all? And should he be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Should he be in the WWE Hall of Fame? No. And my only reason for saying that is a lot of his outside the ring antics, especially with domestic issues, explicitly.
Wait a minute. Let's read. Let me back you up a second there. We're not talking about it. Talking about that, we're talking about his in-ring accomplishment. We know, being tried in the public of opinion. You're going to think what you want to think. I'm talking about his career. I'm talking about Alberto Del Rio, his career, what he did. Do he deserve? Because we just talked about Sonny being taken out of the Hall of Fame, and I say,
sure.
What is that going to do? I'm talking about on his merit. Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
If you're asking me to not
whether he's going to get in or not, that's another story. Sure. That's up for debate. You know what I mean? And we could debate that all day long.
Well, look, okay, then answer your question. Look, just take his name off of it for a second, right? If you say if you went to any wrestling fan and said, "Hey, would a 4-time world champion, Royal Rumble winner, and WrestleMania main eventer be eligible to go in the Hall of Fame? Would you put him in the Hall of Fame?" Yeah, sure. Right. I mean, based off those qualifications, I think that he's, his run was a little short, but I do think that you can make the case. Great worker, had some good matches, memorable character, memorable entrance, checks a lot of the boxes, right? Checks a lot of the boxes. And I understand why WWE pushed him all the way to the moon, because they always wanted a massive crossover Mexican star. They had it with Eddie Guerrero. They had it for a long time with Rey Mysterio and still do. But they wanted a guy who could, be on the cover of the Wheaties box, as you sometimes say. And Alberto Del Rio checked a lot of those boxes. I just think it's hard for anybody to hear that name and not think, oh, yeah, the guy who was indicted by a federal jury for sexual assault and felony charges. I mean, it's hard not to bring that up. It is. But on his career alone, if I heard that he was going in, I wouldn't object to it. Personally.
Well, my thing is, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here disagreeing with you or anything like that. That's something that he's going to have to deal with, whether, he get in, when he get in, or if he doesn't get in. That's all going to be on him. And a lot of times the outside antics do come into effect when you haven't gotten in already.
Gotten in already.
Exactly. And, if that happened after, I would be saying the same thing. Well, you can't, come on, what is that going to do? That's what I'll be saying about him as well.
Agree.
But before him actually getting that call, I think it is going to play a big part in, whether he get the call or not. And I think that's something that he's going to have to deal with. As far as a worker, this guy was,
he was great.
Man, he was really good. And I don't put too many people on that pedestal as far as being really good. Del Rio was really good, and he played his part very, very well as far as that aristocrat, that Mexican that comes, with a gold spoon in his mouth. He had all of that, man. Just the look, the feel. Like I say, he definitely was one that could have been high on that list as being a first ballot Hall of Famer if it wasn't for his outside antics. Let's just say that.
I agree, and there are a few guys out there like that, but definitely his name is close to the top of that list of, man, if only. I remember, I remember at one point Triple H was being interviewed by I think it was Steve Austin, and they asked him about China going in the Hall of Fame, and that was one of the things they brought up of not that she did anything illegal, and God rest her soul, but they talked about her pornography background. And he was like, I don't know if we want somebody to go and search up China, and then that's what they see, right? And then part of that's understandable, right? Part of it's understandable. China did eventually go in as a part of DX, but we did get a super chat in here during this conversation from Brooklyn Brian, who says China needs to be in the WWE Hall of Fame solo, not just as part of DX. China inspired many women like Jade Cargill. And I think at this point, China should go in by herself, but really she's already in, however you look at it. But I've only brought that up to say a lot of the times, yes, the outside antics, if you're not in already, it's going to prevent you from getting in. And I don't think Del Rio parted WWE on the best of terms. Didn't he have like a run-in with a writer or something? Where he put hands on a writer?
Slap somebody in catering or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think
not a great sign.
Yeah, but and the thing is, you don't know what, kind of heat he had before that. I don't know. I don't know what the situation was, but I do know that was the final straw as far as Alberto Del Rio's run in WWE was something like that happening in catering. And it's, I don't know, did he come back from that?
I don't remember.
I think he might have came back from that.
He did have a short run.
I think he came back from that and had a short run. And then, after that run, everything, pretty much exploded. But I think he did have a short run after that. But yeah, man, like I said, I just thought he could have been one of the great ones, man. I just wanted to throw that out there because there again, I was reading about Alberto Del Rio saying that he should, be in the WWE Hall of Fame. And there again, Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? But the outside antics, man, you know what I mean? Sometimes they play a role.
We have another real quick super chat. Oh, that I missed. I just want to say Brooklyn Brian says AEW can't do big bumps / risks every week. Chill out, TK. Referring to Tony Khan, of course.
Well, I mean, we got to take a break here in about 2 minutes, but that's something we can talk about here for a second. That is something that they're going to have to fix. As far as, I mean, you look at the roster now, and it's definitely hurting. Let's just say that. As far as guys being banged up, like I said, you go back. It's on YouTube. Go back and watch the compilation of death-defying moves Jeff Hardy has did since coming to AEW. And like I say, man, I just didn't expect Jeff Hardy to be doing that on a weekly basis in AEW. I just didn't see that. I thought this guy was a big enough star to where if you did bring him out and he did something like that, it better been on pay-per-view for the world to see it, not just to be doing it. And I know Jeff's a comedy guy. Jeff's going to go out there and get the work done. Jeff probably still in his mind feel like he's 25 years old until he wake up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure he's going to go out there and get it done. I remember when Matt Hardy first went there. You remember Matt Hardy did the dive off the
Oh yeah, and he hurt himself real bad.
man, and I was like, man, slow. Have you seen Matt do any more dives?
Hell no.
Matt would talk to somebody and say, hey, let's put me in a managerial role.
Big money Matt. I like the sound of it.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man. You got to know how to work the system. You know what I mean? So yeah. Slow down on the dives and all of the crazy stuff, and let's figure out MJF. You know what I mean? He's still on fire. Where's MJF? Where's MJF? We got to talk about that. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer with my man Brad Gilmore here, bringing it to you guys as we always do. ESPN 975-925, bringing you all the entertainment as far as sports goes. MMA, boxing, of course. Israel Adesanya got a big fight coming up with Jared Cannonier here in a couple of weeks. Man, I cannot wait to see that fight go down. I might be there. You know what? I will be there.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I cannot wait for that. But another note, man, on another note, we were talking about Alberto Del Rio. Let's switch gears there for a second. Paige leaves WWE. And from what I was just reading, she's now taking independent bookings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
To wrestle or just appearances? Did she say?
It didn't say. It just said she's now taking independent bookings, and that right there is probably negotiable. You know what I mean? What do you want me to do? You know, it's like with me. Somebody called me. They want me, hey, Book, can you show up at such and such independent show? And I go, yeah, I can. What do you want me to do? Well, we just want you to do a promo, signing, and maybe just come out and say a few words. Okay, well, that's gonna be this price.
If you want the bookend, it goes up by X.
It did. If you want to spend a Rooney, you better get me to the show 4 hours early. Because I'm gonna have to warm up, and it's gonna be a whole lot extra. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, you got to know how to negotiate. So I'm sure she's negotiating, and the thing is, I'm sure she's gonna be highly sought because Paige is one of a kind. She really is. She really is one of a kind. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna I'm gonna say this. Paige is going to be back inside the squared circle very, very soon. Let's just say that.
Do you have some sort of insider info on it?
I mean, I don't have any inside information. I just know how much she loved the business. I know how much her family loves the business and how well connected they are, to the love, of this game. And Paige went out not on her own, terms. Paige is somebody that is definitely going to step back inside that square circle to prove that she is still one of the best female superstars that ever got in the ring, and trust me on that. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I just got a feeling in my bones. I got a feeling in my bones that it's going to happen real soon. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I saw over the weekend Paige put out the announcement that her contract had expired. So it wasn't like, and she said, I believe in the statement or on her Twitch channel, she didn't want to leave WWE. But they just said, hey, look, we don't really have anything for you here at the moment. And, ended amicably with the door still open eventually down the road. But, it's been, I think, 5 years since Paige wrestled, and she had the live event where she got kicked in the back, I believe, by Sasha Banks. And, just one of those freak accidents. She already had a scoliosis and other issues with her spine and neck. And that little move right there did her in. And it was really unfortunate because when she debuted on Raw after WrestleMania, won that title from AJ Lee, man, it was like a rocket. Paige was so different than every other diva of the era and had such a connection, so much so they made the movie about her life, before she was even 30. She's not even 30, and she already has a movie out there about her life, right? Because that was kind of the magnetism that she had. And she was so charismatic on the microphone, in the ring, kind of one of those total package kind of people. And it's just so unfortunate she didn't get to go out the way that she wanted to. And I think that we would have, if Paige didn't have that injury, we would be having a whole different conversation about her right now. We'd be saying, man, is she on Rushmore? Because that's kind of how good she is.
Yeah. And the thing is, I really feel like, she's going to have a chance to still be able to recreate that. I don't think it's too late for Paige. And sometimes with injuries, one doctor may tell you you can't do it, and then you go to another doctor right across the street, and he's going to tell you you're fine, you're good to go.
No,
I'm serious because I was told that myself. One doctor told me, no, you should, you shouldn't do this, and one doctor told me, you're good to go, man. You cleared. But that's just, how cautious they are when something like that happened. And I get it. It was a while for Daniel Bryan made his return. It was a while before John Morrison. You remember he had his neck issue back in WWE, and then he, made a return. But that injury right there, man, it's hard to play around with. That's why I'm really wondering. I was just reading earlier today as well. Big E actually took his neck brace off and threw it in the trash. So I'm hoping Big E can make a full 100% recovery and get back out there in the ring and continue doing this. But that right there, that neck issue, is a very serious situation as far as do or don't. It's really hard.
Yeah. So to me, what can you though actually share going back to Paige, because y'all got to work together on Backstage? What was she like on the show? Did you enjoy working with her?
Man, I love working with Paige. She was so freaking cool, man. She had to do a coming back from commercial, going into commercial break, and I told her, she's like, "Book, how should I introduce you?" And I told her, just say I'm a, OG brother from the hood, and we came back. That's what she said, and she got so much freaking hate on Twitter. You know what I mean? I had to go and tell people, guys, I told her to say it. You think she's gonna think of something like that to say on her own? But she's so freaking cool, and she's think about Paige. I'm gonna tell you right now, she's gonna be okay. She's not gonna have to worry about income or anything like that. She's a money making machine. Just being Paige. serious. That's just the way it is. But for her to there again want to finish it on her own terms, I could see that. I just could see it, and her leaving WWE. Do I think it's an opportunity for her? Was it an opportunity for her to stay at WWE? It probably was, but sometimes you get to a point to where things aren't working out for you, and you got to pull the trigger. You got to pull the trigger and say, "Man, I got to go out on a limb and see whether it's going to work or not." You know, otherwise you'll be stuck in that bubble forever, and that's the last thing you want to do is wake up one day 50, saying, "Man, I wish I would have tried." You know, when I had a chance. You don't want to do that. So that's why I say I see Paige back inside the square circle sometime real soon.
We'll see. I'm got a couple super chats here that we got to catch up on. Others from Kid, who says, with Roe coming back to television, yes, it's on here in Houston, the CW. Check your local listings for where it is in your area. Does that mean the Reality Wrestling Television Championship is going to get more attention?
You know what, man? I think we need to put more attention on the Reality Wrestling Television Championship. That's a really, really good idea. You know, to have somebody like you in the booking committee opposed to Brad, we might could get a little bit more work done.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that. This is from the Gav Noir, who says, The Rock's tweet on Cody and Seth, don't think he's wrestling at Mania. He wants these guys to carry the baton. Cody has to win the Rumble. Yeah, Cody Rhodes did have surgery. They're saying on TV he'll be out 9 months. I'm thinking he's back before that, maybe in time for the Rumble. Right? It would be a great comeback at the Rumble, right? Come back and win the thing and go on to Mania.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know how long is the recovery on an injury like that, but
they said 9 months, but I don't know.
No, that's what I was just going to say, but it's got to be long just how big that muscle is. It's got to be a long, intense therapy and road to comeback from something like that. But could he come back a little bit earlier? I think so. But that's normally the way the wrestlers are. They normally don't stay out the full term. 9 months is a long freaking time. It really is. And for us, for Cody to be out of sight, out of mind for 9 months, man, that would be long. So I don't know. We're going to see how it play out, but I see Cody doing something big here within this next 12 months. You know, if he does come back and come back strong, like being the guy, because it's a story here to be told with Cody Rhodes, and I think that's the one thing that's missing in wrestling right now, more so than anything, is these stories being told. That's what's so compelling about MJF right now. And was it real? Or was it Memorex? That's what we would say back in the day. People wondering. And right now, Cody Rhodes has, even with this injury and being out 9 months, it's still a compelling story.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to be able to fulfill his destiny, his dream? Oh man, that right there is something for me. And then to hear that music, for the first time, however long it may be, when you hear it, you're gonna go, "Oh, he's so." I get it. I get it. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. About yourself, as far as that grind, how much do you actually embrace it? How much do you actually feel like that is a part of this journey?
Oh man, well, thankfully now the scene in where I'm from, I'm living in Oklahoma right now, and I wrestle in Texas. But thankfully now the scene is kind of growing with the streaming platforms, with places like Reality of Wrestling down there in Texas. You get a bigger buzz here, but for years it was hard. And so you had to get out there and travel. So there'd be many nights where I was on the road by myself, 7, 8, 9, 10-hour drives there and back, sacrificing time with my family, sacrificing time at my real job, trying to just make ends meet. But when you really love this, and I tell people this all the time, some people just love coming through the curtain. You can't just love coming through the curtain. Yeah. When you really love this, you fall in love with the ground. Fuego del Sol hates squats, man. I hate deadlifts. But if you really love this, you got to learn to love all of it. Every facet of it, every bit of sacrifice, every bit of time that you're losing with birthdays, loved ones, all of that.
Yeah.
When you really want it, when you really sacrifice, and when you start to see it pay off, you realize all of that is worth it and then some for this.
Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Where's MJF?
That's a great question, Book. It's a great question.
Where is MJF? You know, a lot of people want to know right now. Where's MJF? Is it a work, or is it a shoot? Is it something real or not? That's the question people want to know right now. Even myself, I want to know because I said it that maybe it started out as a work, but maybe it turned into something else. We talked about the higher ups,
The execs at Warner Media,
the executives, talked about that right there. As far as I just don't think the executives are going to be in the war room or going over the angles. What do you guys think? I don't see that happening. So something like that. That's why for me it just seems, let's just say, odd. It seems odd to the point to where it has such a real feel to it. Let's just say that, and we'll find out in the end whether it's real or not.
Yeah, I have no idea, and I kind of like it.
But how do you feel about it?
Oh, I like it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just like that I don't know. I think that you're right. There's a certain element about it that, of course, we know a certain part of it has to be somewhat worked. But when you go watch that MJF promo and the way that he delivers it with the passion that he delivers it with, a lot of that's coming from a real place, right? And it's not a 1-1 comparison, but I remember when Matt Hardy and Edge and Lita had that whole kind of thing going on behind the scenes, and then they turned it into an angle on television. I remember watching as a kid, and I didn't know, hey, wait, are they being for real here on TV, or is this a setup? Like, I didn't know. And it had such real heat behind it. Like in the promos, Matt Hardy was calling Edge Adam, and I'm like, who's Adam? And then you go on Google, and it's like, oh, that's his real name. His real name's Adam. So you feel you feel caught up in it.
Yeah.
And MJF to say, would you treat me better if I was an ex-WWE guy? You shouldn't be in the booking room. You should be in the seats with the rest of these people. Things like that. You're like,
tell me this here.
Yeah.
Do you think any of the Edge and Lita and Matt stuff was real?
Well, I know some of it was real. I don't know about.
See what I'm saying? That's my point. That's my point. That's why I felt that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm agreeing with you. Like I think that a certain amount of it has to be legit.
Yeah.
Right. But how much? I don't know.
Yeah, we got to know, man. We got to find out because MJF might be coming to the WWE. It's just I'm not just trying to dream up something here, but I'm just saying. I think people say, would MJF fit in to WWE? I think they will make him fit in. No, I'm serious. That's the thing, man. You know what I mean? People say, man, do you when do you get time to work out? I never have time. I make time. You know what I mean? So I feel like with someone like this guy, you find a spot for him if he's not happy. I mean, look at these football players, these basketball players. So when something happened, when they trade me, right? Am I right or wrong here?
Right.
So it's at the end of the day, it's business, and I think MJF is handling his business very, very well.
We have another super chat here from Glenn. Glenn says, "Test. This is a test. Do you have any stories of Andrew Test Martin? You guys were a great tag team back in 01 and 02 during the Alliance." Yeah, we talked about Test. I feel like
somebody just asked me this not too long ago, man. Test was, man. God bless his soul, man. Good dude, man. Real good dude. But just like Jeff Hardy right now, what Jeff's going through, man, Andrew, he should still be here today. Test should still be here today. Celebrate it. But those demons, man, those demons can catch you, at your lowest point, and that's when they can get you. So I just think about Tess in good ways, man. But we were laughing, and when we wasn't laughing, sometimes we were fighting. I'm serious, man. That's the relationship I had with Tess because, I just wish he was still here.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys when he came in. I don't remember what the gimmick was, right? Was the gimmick like he was a bodyguard for rock and roll band?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then I remember the angle he had with Stephanie McMahon and it was one of the most memorable things because I was in first grade. And I remember this vividly, watching it on TV, the wedding, and then Triple H coming out and saying, and showing the video of how I guess he drugged Stephanie and then went and got married. And I just remember him saying to Vince, and I know what you're thinking, Dad. Not did we, but how many times did we consummate the marriage? And it was so terrible. But I remember talking to my friend Joshua about it the next day. I had no idea what consummate meant either. But I just remember did you see what happened on Raw last night? Tess didn't marry Stephanie. It was Triple H.
Oh my God, man.
And then they brought him back for ECW.
Oh my God, man.
They brought him back for ECW, and it looked like he was going to have another run there. And I think he passed shortly thereafter.
Tess was a beast, man.
He was look, we talk about it all the time, and sometimes when you see some new talent come into reality wrestling, you look at the boxes, right? And look-wise, aggression, physicality, presence, ring awareness.
Yeah.
He's like, check, great finish. Like, he checked every box.
Tess was good, man. He had everything that you wanted out of a wrestler. Everything. Yeah. But there again, man, just one of those guys that we lost way too soon, man. Just way too soon due to burning that candle, man. Burning that candle is serious. And there again, I talked about it earlier too, pain and addiction. Those two just don't go together. They just don't. And this business create a whole hell of a lot of pain. It does. It creates a whole hell of a lot of pain. I talk about getting out of the bed, and I got out of bed one morning and I couldn't get out of the bed. I just rolled out. I rolled out to my knees. And then I put one foot, up, and then I got the other one. I got myself on the bed and I got up and jumped in the shower, and I got in the shower and put the water on like hot as I possibly could take it. And all I could do was just laugh. Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? My body just beat up to the point to where only thing I could do about it was laugh. But if I was one of those guys with an addictive personality, I would have been looking for that pill bottle and said, man, let me try to, relieve some of this pain. So I know where those guys are coming from. I've been there, and I know exactly what they're going through.
Yeah, no, it makes you sad. Roland Curtis says, sometimes Becky Lynch, McIntyre, and even McGregor lose me with the accents, but Alberto Del Rio executed masterful promos using his thick Mexican accent. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Alberto was good, man. You can't take nothing away from this guy's performance. He was truly a generational talent, and I'm saying this, speaking this way because it's true, man. It's true. The first time I saw Alberto Del Rio perform, I go, this guy get it. This guy gets it. He knew how to go out and tell stories and make you feel a certain way, and he, more importantly, looked like a grown-ass man, that should have been on the cover of GQ when he walked in the building. I mean, he played the role in the ring as well as out of the ring all the time. And should he be in the Hall of Fame? His stat sheet, I think, will say that every day.
Stats definitely say it. Again, his
Yeah.
extra stuff.
Extracurricular activities,
Not so much.
they come into play.
Not so much. Do we have time for another one in this segment?
We got time for one more, man. We got 1 minute left.
Okay. Brooklyn Bryan says if Tony Khan was smart, he'd put the AEW championship on MJF. It would be like when The Rock won and joined the corporation. Super heel and major heat.
You know what, man? That sounds like a great idea. It sounds like a great idea. But me personally, I'm still wondering what the fallout is going to be from this pipe bomb. Okay, something's got to happen here. And those corporate execs, I can't imagine that they wasn't feeling a certain way. If you know what, I don't even know if that's a work. If they were really corporate execs, that could have been plants. That could have been people that just said was corporate execs. You know what I mean?
You never know.
We never know. But I'm talking about the corporate execs that was at the office.
Yeah.
I don't think they were feeling too good about that promo. But we got to take a quick break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. You're worth it.
Walker Texas Ranger handles the bad guys with a roundhouse kick. I'm Jim Walker, Walker Texas lawyer. I handle the insurance companies with a roundhouse kick to the wallet. If you've been injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, give me a call at 713-552-1117 or visit my website at walkertexaslawyer.com. You'll be glad you did. Why would you call anyone else?
Can you dig it, sucker? Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Getting ready to wrap this thing here up in a minute. We got any more super chats, man?
Looking for them right now. I know we have another one here. I saw a second ago. Again, if you have anything you want us to know before we leave today, we would love to talk about it because, Book, there were a couple other things going on in the world of pro wrestling that I did want to talk about. One of them, Adam Cole is down, reportedly.
Adam Cole.
Cole.
That's not good. That's not good at all. I'm gonna tell you right now, Adam Cole being down. What's wrong with him?
Saying a shoulder issue. He might need surgery. That's just rumor right now. No official confirmation of that. But let's just say that he is, right? Let's just say Adam Cole's out with injury. Think about the list over there at AEW, right? Look, okay, Sting, Kenny Omega, Christian, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole. They're saying that Red Velvet might be injured as well. I know I'm forgetting a couple here. I'm forgetting somebody else. So that's quite the list.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's really bad news for Adam Cole. Because if Adam Cole have to have surgery and he's down for 6-9 months and he, lose any more muscle, it's gonna be hard on this brother. You understand what I'm saying? Because right now he's about $160. If the atrophy of the muscle, you lose come on now. Boom! Come on, it's gonna be hard to get the people going. So my thing is get you some glucosamine 500 and sea muscles and see if that work and get in the gym.
You're ridiculous. Some glucosamine. This guy has shoulder surgery. Get some glucosamine and some calcium. You'll be all right.
Get in the gym.
Get in the gym.
Under the bench.
Clang and bang a little bit.
You'll be all right. You know, the thing is, we got to get more weight on Adam Cole. You know what I mean? That's his problem. You know, he's light. He's a little bottom light. You know what I mean? We got to get some muscle on this kid. And that's probably one of the reasons why he's going out there getting hurt, because it can't be the schedule.
That's what I was going to ask. That's what I was going to ask, right?
The schedule, you know, at AEW. I mean, these guys working once a week, you know, but a lot of these guys are working independent shows. They're like all over doing shows everywhere. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the rules and regulations in a lot of these independent shows, you know, you show up and you making $3,000 and they paid $250 for the ring. You know what I mean? And it's not fit for anyone to be working in. And then next thing you know, somebody get hurt and and they're working for a company like AEW. That's bad news. That's not good for business when guys like that are getting hurt. When our schedule is 1 day a week, maybe 2.
Yeah.
We don't do no house shows. We don't go overseas. This is it. That's a problem.
It's not good. It's not good. I mean, when we see how many of those guys are on the shelf. Oh, Jeff was the other name. I forgot. Jeff Hardy, of course, was injured up until this week before all the incidents with him. But it does make you question schedule versus style, right? Because when you hear back in the day guys going down in WWE, it was, man, that schedule's so rough. You don't have time to rest and recuperate.
Yeah.
So when you look at the schedule not being the problem, the next thing you have to say is it the style? Is it the style of work? It's really the only thing it can be. And sometimes, though, I will say, randomly this happens. I remember like WrestleMania 32 around then, a lot of guys all of a sudden just got hurt at the same time. And so you're wondering what happened. But with this, you do wonder how much the style impacts you, because you can only go out there and do these 20-minute, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of bumps, a lot of bruises before something can happen, you know?
Yeah. It's inevitable. It's not a matter of, you know, if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. That's always been, you know, the term in wrestling, you know, just part of, you know, what we do, part of the fabric. But my thing is, when you got a schedule of 1 day a week and, you know, guys, you know, getting hurt, you know, to the point to where you got to start looking at, you know, other things to try to fix, you know, what we got going on. Yeah, it becomes a problem, especially when you're only working 1 day a week, when you're only doing TV, you know, 2 days a week. You're doing TV 2 days a week. And from what I've been hearing, you know, a lot of these guys have been getting, you know, lucrative contracts. So I don't think they got to go out and work anywhere else. But I tell you, if I had a program and somebody went out and got hurt on one of these independent shows and they were under contract with me, that would be a huge problem, and it should be a huge red flag for Tony Khan and the way he, you know, think about letting these guys just freelance the way they're doing, working for that company.
Yeah, it should make you stop there and think twice. Brooklyn Brian, who's been a great chatter for us today on the show, really appreciate that, Brooklyn. Says, has FTR answered the challenge of Harlem Heat yet?
No, man, I think those guys, they're again, you know, they're out there working independent shows, trying to get some money in their pocket. I know they, you know, want to be considered as, you know, the best tag team in the world. That's something that those guys, that really means something to those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being the best tag team in the world. And you know, I can appreciate that. And want to get in the ring with Harlem Heat and get the rub. You know, I get it. If it ever happened, you know, it'll happen. If it don't, you know, it ain't going to be no sweat off me, because, guys, I got a new show on A&E that's going to be starting July the 10th. It's called WWE SmackDown. SmackDown, along with Peter Rosenberg and Jackie Redmond. I'm talking about the the rivalries, the legends of the game, and what made them so special. I got a lot on my hands right now, man. I got business to be taken care of, fish to fry another day as far as FTR.
Plus, you're still spending WCW money. KDP 5000 says, "Hey Booker, is Seth Rollins the best heel in WWE right now?"
I tell you, no doubt. I
He's
think
up there for
I think he's doing the best work. I love Kevin Owens. What he's doing. He's just doing the work that he's doing is just different. But Seth Rollins, I said it a long time ago, man. I said this guy, it's like a romance novelist. Always, giving you some great stories, and making you feel a certain way in this character that he's been playing. It's taken me a minute for it to really develop, and for me to really figure out where he's going with it. And finally I go, okay, man, I'm getting it. I'm beginning to feel it, because the character right now is, you may think I'm playing. Wait till we get in the ring. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how good I really am. He can go from the laughing character to when you look in his eyes, you see a serious, character talking to you. And you go, wow, I mean, he just flipped the script just like that. And then boom, he'll flip it right back on the way out, so I like, okay, I'm getting it. He's working on character development and trying to figure out who he really is. And yeah, man, he's doing some really, really good work right now.
Yeah. So, the best heel in wrestling, I think he's definitely in the conversation. Or in WWE, he's definitely in the conversation.
Like I say, in WWE, I'm not going to say, in the business or anything. Like I said, that's just, the business is just way too big. And
It is.
just haven't seen, some of the best talent out there. Just because, we're watching WWE and watching AEW. It's a lot of good talent out there that's just untapped. And I'm sure, hopefully, they'll get their time to shine.
Yeah. Because you're in that conversation, you got to throw in Roman, because Roman's still running heavy as a heel. Kevin Owens, of course, is in that conversation in WWE. If you jump over to the AEW side, MJF goes real quick to the top of that list, right? In conversations. And always great is The Miz. He's not doing anything like crazy right now, but he's always great. Like, he's always a great heel.
He's a role player.
Always.
Give
So
him
I always have to shout him
get the ball, he'll run with it. Or, if you need him to play like supporting cast, he can do that very, very well. Also, just like doing the stuff with Bad Bunny, that was a job. That was a test for the Miz. You know what I mean? Go out here and see let's see how good you really are. I tell you, shine, man, shine. So definitely, Miz is one of those guys who he's worked his way into that spot as far as being trusted to be able to go out there and get the job done. So yeah. It's only I can use 10 more Miz's.
Always. But I think that does it for us this week, Book. Okay.
We got to get out of here, guys. We got to get out of here. I got to go get some. It's getting late here, and the sun is going down. It's getting cool outside. I'm gonna go outside and get a little yard work. To work on the body. That's gonna be my workout for this evening. But as always, Brad, I appreciate you. All you guys, man, who came into the chat today, man. Appreciate you guys. As always, man. All the super chatters, man. Big ups to you. Couple of days, man. Back same place, same time. But right now, peace. We out of here. Can you dig it, sucker?